Today I will be talking about a book called The Dwarves by Marcus Heitz, or in German, as that is the original country of its original publication, Die Zwerge. This book I originally picked up because it reminded me a lot of Orcs, a book I had also previously reviewed if you've watched any of my other videos. Well, to me they both look pretty similar, so I thought, at first I was wondering if it was the same author. It's not. But that's kind of what drew me in at first, is the cover here, and I kind of like that stylized cover, and just the title being, a single race. It was just interesting looking. It's what got me to pick it up in the first place, and I'd actually heard a few good things about it, so I figured I'd give it a try. So to start this review off on a positive note, I didn't like the book, which is very rare of me, especially in fantasy. I usually really will like almost anything. I'm very open to lots of different books and lots of different styles. But this book just really didn't do it for me. It is 750-something pages, I believe, 730 or so. So it's a very long read, which it wasn't very exciting for the whole thing. It just couldn't hold my attention the whole time. And I really can't quite place my finger on it, but something about the writing just wasn't very good. And what I expect is it probably has to do something with being lost in translation. In fact, no, I know that's what it is, because I have a copy of the German one also, Die Zwerge, and I speak German, so I actually have read the German one, and it is much better. It's still not a great book, in my opinion, because translation, even in translation, you still have the same story, the same plot, the same characters, but a lot of things just felt better in the translation, or I'm sorry, the original. This translation just seems very lacking. Part of it might just be because I have this very Tolkien-esque view of dwarves, not to say that these ones aren't Tolkien-esque, but there are a few things about them that are odd. They're essentially all just humans, but they're shorter, and have, some dwarf characteristics, like they like beer and to smash things with hammers and axes, and they like stone. And other than that, they really have no distinguishing characteristics from other races. That was also a very common complaint in the book Orcs that people had, is that they thought the orcs were really just, humans that were a bit more evil, underhanded. And to an extent that's true, but I still enjoyed orcs, which I find odd, because this book, The Dwarves, has been fairly well received, mostly positive, from what I've heard. And yet I didn't like it very much at all, whereas this book, The Orcs, has been fairly poorly received. And I actually very much enjoyed orcs, which maybe I just have bad tastes. So I'm not really going to say you shouldn't get this book, but if you do, just know it's 750 pages, and that's a long read to get through. That might be one of the reasons why I was a little turned off from it, is because it was just kind of slow. So it was very boring and difficult to get through all 700 pages. If it had been done in 200, maybe I would have enjoyed it more. I don't know. Give you a quick summary of what the plot is like. It's essentially about a dwarf. I won't even attempt to pronounce his name, as all of the characters in this story have ridiculous names. The main character is a dwarf who has been raised by humans. He never met dwarfs of his kind. In this fantasy world, dwarfs are very separate from the other races. Most humans will go their entire lives without ever seeing a dwarf. They're all tucked away in their mountain villages, what have you. So the main character has never seen another dwarf in his life, raised by humans. And then one day he finds out that there are other dwarfs out there. Well, of course he knew that, but some dwarfs come to find him, and then he has to go away with them so he can become the king of their nation, or something like that, essentially, because he's a long-lost bloodline they didn't know about until recently, and they have to stop some evil guy from becoming the king of the dwarves. And it all just felt kind of cliche and overdone. It felt like they didn't really need to be dwarves. I feel like this whole story could have been told from the perspective of humans, and it would have been mostly the same. Now, of course, this is just my opinion. I know a lot of people like this book, and it wasn't bad by any means. It just wasn't anything special to me. It was just average. And it's not that I'm asking for every book to be something special. It's just that it really didn't do a good job of holding my attention. I found it to be very boring and cliche. It almost felt childish. And like I said, dwarves seem like humans. There's one particular line, I should have written it down, that just made me sigh with disappointment, was when the main character said, "Come back here with my sack, you scoundrel." And it's just that kind of thing, because I don't envision dwarves saying that. And maybe I do like cliche, I guess, because I want these dwarves to have Scottish accents and all the other wonderful things I've come to expect of Tolkien dwarfs. But they all just felt very humanized dwarfs. And once again, that's really, I think, translation. So if you can read or speak German, then I would suggest picking up this book in German, because the original is, in my opinion, much better. This, I feel like a lot is lost in translation. It doesn't feel like that good of a book. I really wanted to like it, I really did, but I just couldn't bring myself to enjoy it. I'm not sure what it was, but I really wanted to enjoy it, but it just didn't do it for me. So I'm a little hesitant to say you should pick this up. Maybe if you see it in the bookstore, read the first chapter or so, see if you like it. If so, go ahead and get it. Great. I hope you do like it. I didn't, but I hope you do. And if you can speak or read German, then I would recommend picking that up, because I enjoyed the German version much more than this. Overall, I'd probably give it about that's difficult, maybe a 7 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10, around there. It wasn't bad, but that doesn't mean it was good by any means. The German version, I would probably give an 8 out of 10. I certainly enjoyed the German one much more, but it still suffered from the same ideas of a somewhat bland story, poor character development, in my opinion, very poor characters, but like I said, it's just my opinion. So if you like this book, then good for you, but I certainly didn't. So thank you.